listen, this is another episode of the No Matter What podcast, where I got a special guest on here, long time friend, man. We come up through the trenches, man.
Very much so.
Very knowledgeable, man, in the mental health field, and as well as other areas. We probably get into a little bit of all that, but without no introduction, I'm gonna introduce my man, the MC Easy B with the capability, otherwise known as EB, Joseph Banks.
Oh man, so many names. Nat Turner, Chief Rocker B at Ease, but Mr. E from the TSS world, Mr. Banks from when I used to work at the courts, and now OGE Bizzle, thanks to my friends Will King and Henny Black from the legendary PTG Bird Gang, which stands for Project Tailgate. Kings of the parking lot, we fly high. You know our tailgate is better than yours. I'm sure anybody who's been following me on social media or actually is an Eagles fan has seen me tailgating and what we do in the parking lots at the games and when we go to other cities. And, you know, it just is what it is. Super Bowl champs, y'all know. I ain't going to brag and boast about that because sports is a lifestyle. Sports is a culture, but it's also a distraction. But it also brings us together. So, you know, I'm just saying all that to say that I love sports. I love the Eagles, but I love my people and I love mental health and I love therapy a whole lot better. And I do think sometimes sports is therapy because in my opinion, Philadelphia is a fractured racist city. It's a fractured racist country. I mean, it's a little bit better. But my point is when the Eagles are winning, it's only one color that matters in Philadelphia.
Green, baby.
So that's why, you know, I really rock out with that. Yeah.
Okay. So listen, man, ain't nothing to it but to jump right into it.
Yes, sir.
So we got you on here talking about the mental health aspect of addiction, right?
Yes, sir.
And so you've been in the field for how long?
Technically, since 1996. But if we going to be honest about it, I've always been the old head, even when I was a young bull, because I was always the guy that was way more mature than everybody else. So when I was playing 10, 12 baseball, when I was playing 12, 14 basketball, my mom and dad always had to bring the birth certificate because I was always looking older than what I was. Now everybody thinks I'm younger than what I am. Even with this big gray beard, nobody believes I'm 56. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And back then, nobody believed I was 12. So I did a complete 360 or 180, as you would like to say. But I've been working and helping people with their problems since I was a kid. For whatever reason, people always felt comfortable around me telling me their problems. And because I come from a pretty much structured, functional family who had a lot of old heads from the South with those Southern wisdoms that necessarily didn't make it up to our Northern education, like don't eat nothing that's going to get up and walk away afterwards. Don't let your eyes be bigger than your stomach. Don't write a check that your ass can't cash.
Right.
Come on, Jay. We all come from that.
Right.
That's what makes us a little bit different. But because I always got an answer to a question, even if it's not the right answer, it's the best answer I can give. People have always been asking me for help or asking me what I think. But technically, since I graduated Lincoln in 1996, my first job was a substitute teacher because my mom, rest in peace, Dorothy Banks, she had a heart attack and passed my first year at Lincoln. Well, not my first year at Lincoln, my third year at Lincoln. So when I got out, I had to take care of my dad for like 6 months. And the only job that I could get where I could have the freedom to work as I please, make a couple dollars, and still take care of my father was substitute teaching. And I would get jobs right around the corner. Brook, you know what I'm saying, Bieber. I mean, I eventually ended up working in pretty much every school. I was like the relief pitcher. The substitute teacher was the relief pitcher in the sense that the starter couldn't get the job done and they send in the sub. And at that time, the Philadelphia school system worked like this. You called the system and they had all the jobs for you. So every day, dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of schools have dozens and dozens and dozens of openings because the modern urban school environment is a little bit challenging even for people such as us who come from the urban environment, who have no fear of the children, who are very well aware of the circumstances that they have to go through to get to school.
Right.
But still, you can't really discipline them. You can't put your hands on them. And it's hard to even talk to them about certain things because they aren't educated as we are, in a sense that a lot of them don't even know enough to wash their hands after they go to the bathroom.
I seen you down at the the juvenile courts.
Yes, people used to be so amazed to see me at the juvenile courts. It used to be so bad that I would tell brothers I had a twin brother because they couldn't believe that Easy B from the Poison Clan, Chief Rocker B at Ease, Mr. Lincoln, Palmer's Transit, hang out with AI, pop a bottle, smoke a L, freestyle fanatic. How the hell are you working at the courts? Well, what they didn't know was I was a scholar at St. Rosalima since first grade. I was on honor roll in track 1 at West Catholic and graduated high school when I was 16. I've always been a scholar. I've always been a great student. And I always led a double and a triple life because my dad was from the generation of people who thought hip hop music was noise, it would never last, and it was jungle music. He used to say stuff like, that's the same thing Shaka Zulu when them was drumming in the jungle. All them drums, what you even saying? All y'all do is steal music from the R&B folks. That's noise, and it never lasts. Anybody will tell you that the most hateful people against hip hop music was old black dudes who come from the jazz era. Cause they about instruments. They about guitars, pianos, drums. So all they saw us doing was a booga 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 and beating on the hoods of cars because we didn't have hip hop beats. It's not like today where you can go to Google and Sarah, give me a track beat, give me an instrumental. Right. We was making it up as we went along. We rapped off of the breaks in old disco beats. We rapped off of the breaks in rock and roll records. Some of the best beats that we rapped off of in the late 70s and early 80s wasn't even black music. Well, come on. Let's beat and all that stuff.
Let's talk about the mental health aspect though.
Oh, the mental health aspect is rapping was always good for working with the youth because they relate to hip hop way more than they relate to mental health. So what I had to do was put the mental health into the hip hop.
And it also was an avenue, right, for expression, right?
Yes, sir.
So it allowed people that couldn't normally express themselves, right, to express themselves in a way that they thought that they can reach the people, right, or get people to understand their feelings and their emotions and what they were going through at the time, right? And so it's very, very important, like that we understand, like even like so. This, and I don't, even though this is done no matter what podcast, right? And it's basically right about recovery, right? But we recover in all areas of life. Mental, right?
Physical, spiritual, emotional.
Right? And you asked me, right? And so you said when you came in, I said, what you doing? You said you was smoking weed. And I said, well, how you gonna be on a drug-free program, right? When you high, right? And what did you tell me?
Well, I've been high my whole life. I mean, even when I was an athlete, even when I was a student, even when I was a probation officer, a school teacher, I'm a pothead. I'm a junkie. I've always been on the legalization of marijuana because I always felt weed helped me calm down and relax. Most of the people that I've known who have smoked marijuana in the past did it to calm down and relax and help us with our mental health.
And because you said that, right? Now, just because you smoke weed, that don't make you an addict because that's a determination every person has to make for themselves, right?
Yes.
Because if I smoke weed, I'm gonna end up going and get me a bag of dope. That's just that, right? So I know I'm an addict, but because you do what you do, that might not make you an addict.
No,
right?
no,
and I can't make that determination for you. It's a realization that we got to come through on our
own. Let me say this: I'm an addict. Similar to how some men and women are both addicted to sex, addicted to gambling. A lot of people is addicted to the Eagles. I mean, some people will go to the Eagles game on Sunday, but won't go to church. Let's keep it real. So I believe that's why they play football on a Sunday, because football is the new church of America to a certain extent. So when you talk to me about recovery, when you talk to me about mental health, when you talk to me about all these things, the problem with the Eurocentric view of everything is they try to separate everything and break it down. When you come from an Eastern philosophy, the East, you know how the East is the beginning, Asia, Africa, the Eastern part of the world. So they have a holistic view where you can't treat the disease without treating the patient. See, in America, we want to point fingers at the rotten apple in the barrel. but we don't talk about the tree that the apple came from.
Well,
We
so
don't- you know, what I mean? We don't talk
but
about
that's
the
what
farmer
recovery is
either.
about. The recovery is about treating the individual,
Yes, sir.
right? And not so is
And
so
every
we
individual is
so
different, right?
what we do we emphasize on how we can help you get better. We don't emphasize in trying to work with the drug aspect of it, because we already know if you don't pick up, you can't get high. So once you put down the drugs, now what you want to do to help change your life? How can we help you to get to the next level? How can we help you get back to society? How can we help you get reemployed? But what I want to know about is, like, a lot of times people don't put down the drugs long enough to find out that they have mental health issues.
Well, G.I. Joe once said, and again, this brings back everything. People think I digress and I get off topic. Everything is relatable to me. G.I. Joe said, knowing is half the battle.
Right.
That was one of the big things with G.I. Joe, Fat Albert. They always had an interruption in the show with a message in between all the jokes, in between the
So
cartoons.
what was Fat Albert's greatest message?
Oh, man. Well,
Have
G.I.
a good time.
Have a good time. But it's hard to have a good time in a bad situation.
No, it's not. You know why? Because when we wake up, we start out having a great day. So
Well, every day above
we
ground
gotta,
is a good day.
right? But we gotta compartmentalize, right? So when I get up, right,
Yes, sir.
a lot of times what happens is we don't have to let that moment affect our whole day. So if we compartmentalize that moment, I had a bad moment, but I ain't have it. So I'm not gonna have a bad day.
Well,
I can start that day
I
all
agree
over.
with you 1,000%. One of my favorite sayings to people is, every day above ground is a good day.
Right.
Every day above ground is a good day. So I never complain about my life. When I said that it's hard to have a good time in a bad situation, I mean being a positive person, smiling all the time. People are scared of my smile more than they scared of my frown. Everybody frowns. Everybody mean mugs. Very few people smile and grin and have a positive attitude about life every single day like OGE Bizzle. I've been posting on Instagram since 2009.
Yeah, and so
Find one
while you're
picture
there,
of me without a smile.
you posted. You could have set up your little thing over there. You wouldn't have to hold on to the camera.
Well, I don't really.
Well, no,
I'm trying to
because you
figure
know
out a way to put it up.
we try
What is all
to
that?
keep one camera. So now they see you gotta, like, you know, they probably worry about what you're doing and not get the message, right?
All right,
So
well, let me-
I can always send the footage to you.
Yeah, let me
You know what I mean?
stop.
That's
Let me
what
stop
we do.
doing this.
Yeah.
All right. Peace, y'all. Shaq Skills, Andrew Redwood, Alco Saki. Thank you. Alco is all the way from Baltimore.
Peace, Alco.
Tune into
Done No Matter What podcast. You can find it on YouTube, but you can definitely find it on Instagram as soon as we finish.
Ain't you going live on Facebook too?
We live right now, but
So go live.
I'm banned on Facebook until tomorrow.
Damn. I invented Facebook jail.
Yeah.
I really did. I get banned a lot too, brother, from Facebook jail. I always say Zuckerberg don't like me because it's funny. When you post about so-called conspiracy theories, when you post about certain religious groups, certain sexual groups, you get banned, you get deleted. They also have this thing where they have the fact checkers come on your joint, and it says that fact checkers have proven that this information is false. But they never come on the slide pages. They never come on the murder pages. They never come on the pornography pages. And it's almost like the good things in life are banned and the bad things in life is promoted.
Well, so, and what happened is, you know, I had somebody on here a couple weeks ago, right? And the adverbs and the synonyms, right, was kind of,
The pronouns.
yeah. And so it got kind of, you know what I mean, like out of whack. And I should have like pulled it back, but I wanted to see where it was going to go. And so it got me banned from TV for about a month, right? So, you know, I'll be until tomorrow, the 27th, man. But, and even what happened with that, right? You know, he still, you know, had the opportunity to say how he felt.
He, she, them, they.
Yeah.
was
But
a he.
what happens is how you do it, right?
It's not what you do,
So
it's
it's
how you
rules
do it.
and
Yes, sir.
regulations,
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir.
And everything, right? And so, you know, yeah, the pronouns was kind of, you know, rough. You know, the adjectives he used kind of, you know what I mean? There was a lot of women in the audience that didn't agree with, you know what I mean, how he
Express
expressed himself, using those adjectives, adverbs, and pronouns, right? Calling them, derogatory names and stuff like that. So, and I told him at the end, look, man, I brought you on here because you're an articulate guy, and I expected you to,
He didn't use his
use more
articulation.
decorum than you did when you was on here. And so then when I showed him the video, he's like, oh, you're right, man. I messed up, but it was too late for me at that particular point. And so this is my platform, and I gotta protect my platform,
You
right?
who you got on here.
Right. So so I'm just trying to navigate a little bit better, right? And be more tactful, yeah.
And again, you can learn from my experience. As I said, my name is Joseph Banks. My middle name is Joseph. But when I first got on social media, I was Easy B. That account got deleted. I was Eric Joseph Banks. That account got deleted. I was Nathaniel Turner. And the reason I became Nathaniel Turner was
from the movie.
Yes, and the book, Nat Turner. Because it's like y'all think I'm that anyway. You think that any black man with any kind of controversy or any kind of position contrary to the Eurocentric or the mass media point of view, we angry, we mad. No, I'm not angry. I'm not mad. I'm passionate. It's a big difference between being angry and mad and passionate. But at the same token, James Baldwin, who is one of the greatest authors in American literary
and he
history,
had a lot of mental health issues.
Yes, he did. Genius and insanity are the same thing. But let me get my point out with James Baldwin. James Baldwin said that being conscious, the word y'all use today is woke. So let me rephrase that. Being conscious or woke as a black man in America, you are in a constant state of rage. To be black and woke, to be African American, Moorish, Native, Hebrew, Israelite, Islamic, Arabic, whatever we calling ourselves today. To be that and to be woke and conscious in America is to be in a constant state of rage. Let me give you one example. Hector, Jose, Black Jamal, Mike, Kev, and Rasul been using, and I'm just using these names because I know the image that's going to come in your mind when I say these names. When they was up Kensington using dope, crack, and pills, lock them up, they criminals, they bad people. But now that it's Becky with the good hair, Mikey, Johnny, and Joe the plumber from Bridesburg hooked on heroin and opioids. Oh, it's an opioid crisis. It's a sickness. We gotta help. You understand what I'm saying?
I definitely understand what you're saying.
And that's mental health problems because you constantly see how the wool is being pulled over your eyes. You constantly see the situations in which the double standards and the oppressive attitudes are forced onto your people and nobody else. Wildwood and every city on the Jersey Shore got the same problems that they have in North Philly and West Philly with kids running around, wilding, getting drunk, and acting crazy. But it's never a big issue. But you can go to any Instagram photo and look up Wildwood and Ocean City, and all you see is people running up and down the boardwalk, drinking, smoking, and getting chased by the police. But those type of behaviors are only attributed to so-called minorities. That's what I'm saying when I say you in a constant state of rage. We can even take it to Jalen Hurts. Why is Jalen Hurts having to be justified as a top 10 quarterback when there are several other bum quarterbacks who have never won a Super Bowl, who have never won a playoff game, but they're considered better than Jalen Hurts? When Josh Allen runs around and scrambles and make great plays, he's never called a running quarterback. Josh Allen actually runs the tush push and the quarterback sneak, and Josh Allen was the leading rusher on the Buffalo Bills this year. But nobody ever calls him a great athlete, and nobody ever questions his intellectual abilities to play the football position. It's only African-American quarterbacks who have that. When a white quarterback is trash, he's just trash. When a black quarterback is trash, it's because he can't think the game. He's an athlete. He can't read the defense. Tim Tebow was trash. Nobody ever said he couldn't read the defense. Understand what I'm saying about the intellectual part of it and the subliminal part of it. When they say you can't read a defense, what are they questioning? Your intellectual abilities. When they call you a great athlete, what are they saying? This is what I'm saying.
When they call you a great athlete, they mean you playing according to what their guidelines are and what they attribute to being greatness.
Yes. Now, let's switch it back. Why is Cooper DeJean so popular? Because he's a white cornerback. They've never had a white cornerback before. Right. You want to know why? because white people themselves set that standard to say that we can't run as fast as you guys, we can't jump as high as you guys, and we aren't athletic as you guys.
So
we're not even
so
going to put
the
one of you
quarterback
at the
position.
position.
The quarterback position was made for slow white guys stay in the pocket.
No, I said cornerback.
No, but I said the quarterback position
was
made for slow white guys, kind of tall. They can sit back there, kind of read and figure out, read the defense and pick their player that that they're gonna scope out and get the ball to. Yeah, I see that because so what happens is because I think black athletes' minds be moving faster than the white athletes.
Because we have to. Our minds. All right. I went to St. Rosalima. In order to get to St. Rosalima, I had to leave 59th and Jefferson and walk past Slug and them on 57th and Dunlap. If you know Slug and them, you know what I'm talking about. Then I had to go past Lansdowne Avenue. Then when I went to the school, I had to deal with the Catholic racist white folk shit. Excuse my language. When I left school, I had to maybe rumble because people thought that we were suckers because we went to Catholic school. Cats from Hannah, dudes from Lansdowne Avenue. Then when the thing started going on between Winfield and Hilltop, I was in like the 7th and 8th grade, and we lived at the top of the hill, Jefferson Street. It was times I was walking up the hill, I would get questions as if I was going over the bridge. People was going to jump me until Slug and them would say, "Nah, he just go to Catholic school. He live on Jefferson Street." I got to go through all of this before I get to fucking football practice. So and today they got to dodge bullets. You might have to go through traps. You might have to walk over dope fiends, crackheads. If you playing football on a team where you have to get on the Broad Street subway or the Market Frankfurt L, I see people from Frankfurt. I see people from Roman Catholic. When I'm on the train, I see the kids with their equipment. They coming from football and basketball practice. They on the train with the same dope fiends I'm on the train with. They on the train with the same weed smoke that I'm on the train with. They on the train with the same would-be shooters and killers and trappers that I'm on the train with. So all these things are part of the urban experience when you playing football and sports. So of course our minds have to think faster. This is another reason why Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, and a lot of those European players and foreign players aren't as tough and aren't as mentally and physically aggressive as we are here in the inner city.
So how do you attribute to what's going on with the YNs now to the mental health?
Hurt people. And again, what they see in their homes. Yeah. Look how the average young parent snap out on their child in the street. Just think about all the scenes that we see every day with the mom downtown shopping or in the supermarket when they snap out on their child and how they speak to their child. Think about all the times that we disrespect our female or our woman in front of our son and daughter, or all the times that the mom talk crazy about the dad in front of the kids.
And listen, I had 3 separate incidents, right, with 3 different women. These women, like, I love women.
Notice how I say we. It's not just we.
I love women. This is not a bash of women, right? I love my women. I've been raised by women. My mother, my grandmother, my aunt, who was my godmother. You know what I mean? My sisters, right? And but these women just like blatant disrespectful these days. Like they don't know their place. Like what you stepping to me for? Because you can't navigate your emotions because I give you a pull up because I say to you that what you're doing is wrong. So now you want to threaten me? How you going to threaten a man? I mean, this woman's talking about she going to stab me because I told you that you're doing something wrong. You want to hurt me?
It seemed to be more pronounced in the female species. Maybe black women are the ultimate example, but me working at these concerts where we have multiracial groups of people, it's not just going to be black women at a Beyonce concert. It's not just going to be black women at a Taylor Swift concert. I would say most women are emotionally triggered.
But the black women are more angry, man.
Well, they have a right to be. They have a right to be.
They got a right to be angry.
Not necessarily.
But they got a right to be angry, but they don't have a right to be disrespectful.
No,
right?
they don't.
They don't have they don't have a right to be to threaten people, right? I mean, listen, man, I see how some of these women, and I ain't saying all black women, a lot of these women, man, they like lost their mind.
Well, remember the first note I wrote down, hurt people. Now, I generally don't mention names because I'm under the HIPAA laws. Even though I don't necessarily work in the schools or the courts anymore, I'm still under.
Well, you don't have to mention names.
Okay, a situation once happened on Delhi Street in North Philly. Let's just say Raimundo, and his mother was very upset at him because I had to prepare to send him to Glen Mills because Judge Reynolds had given this young man as many chances as he possibly could.
Judge
Anybody who
Reynolds
knows Judge Reynolds know that Judge Reynolds don't give
try to
chances.
roof me.
But because Judge Reynolds, as most of the people and judges at the courts, regardless of what they felt about my rapping, regardless of what they felt about my known marijuana abuse or whatever I was doing in the streets, they knew that Eric Joseph Banks is dedicated to the upliftment of my people. And I'm actually at Delhi Street. I'm actually on Germantown Avenue. I'm actually on Mutter Street because I had 19140 after I had South Philly. So I've been in some of the most dangerous neighborhoods, Wilson Park and Tasker when they was going back and forth. 7th Street and 5th Street was so bad that we couldn't send dudes from 7th and 5th Street to the same therapy recovery center because they would get in the rumbles at the drug and alcohol program. 7th Street and 5th Street. I say all this to say all the neighborhoods, all the places that I worked, I'm still dug in. A lot of them men and women and young men and women have kids now. I see them at the games and they all thank me for what I did. But what I'm telling you is hurt people. And when you constantly in a cycle of verbal and physical abuse that you don't even know is verbal and physical abuse because everybody in your community talks to each other and acts like that to each other, calling your friends dummy, bitch, go ahead, fuck out of here. Even when they be joking, it's vicious verbal attacks on your character.
Yeah.
How many times have people said, oh, Mr. E, I seen you at the game, or Mr. E, I appreciate what you did for me. And one of their homies will say, stop D-eating Mr. E. Why you glazing old head like that? So it's to a point where you can't even give another person a compliment.
Right.
You tell a woman, hey, how you doing, sister? You ain't my brother. How you doing, sister? I got a man. Bitch, I didn't ask you if you had a man. Excuse me.
That's what guys in trouble the last time.
Well, female dog, I didn't ask you if you had a man. I just simply said good morning.
How about ma'am? I didn't ask you. Because listen, man.
No. This is what I'm saying. When you call them ma'am,
yeah, but they're still a woman. So
listen to me,
listen what I'm saying. Hold on. Wait. Well,
about how they attack.
Give me a moment right here. Even though they attack us, don't give us the justification
to
be disrespectful.
No,
so they still somebody's mother, sister, right? At the end of the day. How many sisters you got?
3.
Okay. And so I got 2 and a mother, right? And I
never called them
unacceptable. That. No, but what I'm saying is you just said on the microphone.
Yes, I did.
So we like I want to like
but I also
set a precedent here. I want to hold. Listen what I'm saying. But listen, I heard all that, but I'm saying that other part. Like I need to set a precedent. It's unacceptable. It got me banned last time, and so I got to protect. Right, I got to protect my podcast.
I got you, brother. Yeah. But what I'm saying is it go both ways, and I never disrespect females. Females constantly not necessarily disrespect me, but disrespect a man. If I say good morning or grand rising, what is your reason for telling me you got a man? Because listen to me. You think that every guy who speaks to you is trying to have sex with you.
Well, maybe that's the experience.
Okay. My experience is that every woman who I say good morning to don't automatically assume that I'm trying to holler at her. So what I'm saying is if you constantly are being positive, if you constantly are spreading positive energy, how long can you take disrespect before you snap out? I don't even raise my voice. I've had females disrespect me simply for doing my job. My job as a TSS worker is to model more effective behavior for you in the home. But as soon as you tell somebody that you can't expect to be your child's best friend and reward them for bad behavior, your child got more F's on his report card. Your child has several disciplinary infractions. Why does your child have $1,000 Balenciagas? Listen to me.
No, hold on, listen.
Why does your child have
it's a conversation.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's a conversation.
I'm sorry.
So I understand what you said, right? And I say that all the time, right? Like, how do you reward good behavior? Like, how do you like? I remember my mother would make me wear sneakers. I had holes in them, and behind this kid got 20 pair of sneakers, all of them over $200, right? And he failing in school. He run around here, and every time somebody say your son did something, you talking about that, but not my son. But you know good and well it's your son.
So when you say that, and that woman, that aunt, or whoever verbally disrespects you and physically threatens you, how many times can you continue to give her that respect that you say that they should get?
So what do you do in the instance? You don't call her a B.
Very seldom does it happen to me. I'm just giving you situations.
So in that situation, what I do?
Very seldom does that happen to me.
In the situation, what I do?
I walk away.
That's it. Because how can they argue with me when I'm not?
I walk away. So one of my favorite lines with that is, "Jesus loves you, but I don't." Have a good day.
Yeah, but I still love them. You know why? Because they hurt. So a lot of times it ain't even me that I'm there, but they not mad at me.
It's not me or
right.
you.
So I gotta be able to understand that. Like, they ain't mad at me. Probably mad the dad ain't helping them. Probably mad that the electric bill might be getting ready to get cut off. Probably mad because their son acting a fool and they ain't really got no grasp on them. They don't know what to do, and so the help is coming. They trying to tell help how to help them. So that's the things that we like. They trying to you get help, but you want to tell the help. Yeah, absolutely. How can you get help when you trying to tell me how to help you?
Now, on top of that, when you said love, all right, you said how can you tell the help how to help you? How can you ask me to love somebody who don't love themselves?
Because listen,
how can you ask me
I'm gonna tell you right now. Because by being in recovery, they showed me how to love me in my condition. So I got to love somebody else in their condition. That means unconditional love. Because you know what? Unconditional love, that means I ain't know how to stay clean, but they showed me. I ain't know how to stop using, but they showed me. And these people, they didn't know my name.
Question. Was you receptive to the help?
No. That's why I only got 3 years. I've been around for 30 years, trying to get it. But I kept trying to tell help how to help me, trying to manipulate the program the way I wanted to be and not doing it the way it was. It got 12 steps for 12 reasons, right?
Yes, sir.
They got 12 concepts.
Yes, sir.
And they got 12 traditions.
Yes, sir.
And guess what? I wanted to do one. Jay's way.
Okay. Once you became receptive to the help, did the help come?
An abundance. You know why? Because they accepted, they ain't trying to change me. They tried to change my thinking. They tried to help me implement some reasoning that allowed me to change. See, you're going to change just by being around the people because you the people you're around. Am I right? So when I'm around people doing something different, I'm already changing. I'm already in the therapeutic value of one addict helping another is without parallel. That means that an addict helping another addict. See, I can get it from them. I can't get it from somebody that got the education and not the experience. So you can't empathize with me.
Okay. On that, one of the biggest problems I had at family court and one of the biggest problems I continue to have when I work in certain situations is the people in the power don't have no principle.
Right.
How are you a marriage counselor and you've never been married? Right. How are you a drug addiction counselor and you've never been addicted to drugs? How? And I'm not attacking your credentials. I'm not attacking your education, and I'm not even attacking your intentions.
What happens is they set out they see a need and they want to help, right? And that's good because some of them do help. They can help facilitate you to get to where you need to go, but they can't empathize with you. Because empathy meaning you've been through the same stuff I've been through.
I'm a very empathetic person, and I'm so empathetic that a lot of my friends tease me. And E. Bizzle, E. Banks, Chief Rocker, B. at Ease, they got another name for me. Emotional. I'm very
well, yeah. And I saw that because you love the kids. You love when I was doing a backpack drive, man. You said Jay. You know what I mean? Meet me up here. I got some back. So you always love your community And you was always that type of dude that was in the community and accessible. And that's why a reason why I asked you to come on here. We ain't get to talk about mental health too much. We touched that, we bobbed the weed, but you know, you had your own agenda. You wanted PTG bird gang, right?
But didn't I associate that with?
But no, but we had a great conversation because this is done no matter what. We talk about anything here, right? Even we talked about the community, we talked about situations, and so we talked a little bit about sports. But what I'm saying is, man, that
it's holistic.
But prior to coming on, we was talking about like what made you get involved with the weed.
Weed?
You said something when you started rapping.
I don't know how old people are. If you remember Miss Betty on 63rd and Media, she used to have the big giant bags with the smiley faces on them for $5. My man Rob was her son, and we was like best friends at West Catholic, and we played football together. And he used to always steal weed from her and take her cars and sell it at West and give it out. So that's how I first started smoking. But what made me like the weed was it calmed me down. And I was always anxious because of the Catholic school thing. And I always had to be ready to rumble, or somebody try to snatch my gazelles or snatch my hat on the L. And then when I got to West Catholic, it was still a lot of racial tension going on, where the white guys couldn't take the bus. They couldn't go to 52nd Street. They couldn't go to 46th Street. They had to bring the charter SEPTA buses right outside of
And I remember you used to bring the white guys down to 60th Street, right?
Subio,
right.
And Vinny.
And we became cool. Sue was my man. I used to see Sue all over.
One of the main reasons, and I hope he don't get upset, but one of the main reasons that Sue was so cool was he was one of the first, he would be called a wigger. That's what they would call him. Right. He always loved Run DMC. He always wore Adidas sweatsuits.
Sue, he loved to stand on this corner, 60th Street.
Yes.
He would love to be out there, right? Yep. So, shout out to Sue.
Shout out to Sue, man. Sue was Mob Connected, Vinny, Mike, all them guys. So the weed part really was just based on hip hop and culture. And once I started smoking, it just seemed like it made my rapping better. And I just got addicted to smoking weed and rapping at the parties. It was just one and the other.
And so the addiction for rap was drawn behind what?
The fact that I got so much attention.
Right.
The fact that the gangs embraced me, even though I wasn't a gangster. And, the feeling that a lot of these rappers have today with having the gang behind them, I can remember us walking, starting off at Flash House at 58th Street. By the time we get to Lansdowne Avenue,
bigger.
By the time we get to Winfield, it's 200 people ready to march through the door. And that's the only reason we got paid. Right. Because Bobby Dance and them Southwest dudes, 40 Fletcher, all them was gangsters behind closed doors. Rap, mental health. We always say music makes us feel better. And we always say that the old school was better. I'm here to tell you that there has never been a time in the history of black music when it wasn't run by gangsters. My office hours is 9 to 5. Y'all saw it Big Rig.
Right.
That's real.
Right.
That's real. In the hip hop days, the only people that had money to rent the ballrooms, to pay for the equipment, was gangsters. It's just that rappers knew their lane.
Yeah.
We was rappers, y'all gangsters.
Mm-hmm.
We gonna not separate it. But as more and more people started getting into drugs, and more drug dealers started looking at rap as a way to wash their money, and more drug dealers started being like, this soft punk dude making all this money rapping about my life, I might as well start rapping. Yeah. And that's how you got what you got today.
Yeah.
But getting back to mental health, hurt people. That's the main thing that I would like to get at mental health. And two, there is no recovery, there is no rehabilitation, and there is no therapy that will ever be successful without your participation. And as Jay so eloquently stated, you have to be willing for the help to be able to help you. You can't hurt the help and expect to get help.
Exactly. So listen, this is the No Matter What podcast, E. No matter what, man, we try to help the community. We try to influence the community. We try to embrace the community, man. I appreciate you coming, man. You always been a soldier, man. You always been a brother, man. I love you, man.
Love you more.
Yes, sir.
And,
hey,
listen,
I'm gonna let him get some closing words. He like the Energizer Buddy. That boy don't stop.
No, sir. I got a lot of energy. Well, let me say this. One of the main reasons I got so much energy is I changed my lifestyle in the sense of when I get up in the morning, I reflect, I pray, but I work out. I do wall push-ups. I do things that don't involve getting on the ground because I got a bad back. And as you can see, I'm pretty well cut. I'm pretty well put together. Diet, eliminate as much sugar, fast food, and processed foods as you can. Increase your fruit and vegetable intake. Try your best. I know it's hard with the GMOs and Bill Gates and the seedless fruits out here, but try your best to find fruits with seeds in them. Seeds from fruits, especially watermelons, peaches, cherries, and apricots. These are very effective in fighting off cancers. And a lot of my old heads have passed from cancer. A lot of my family members have passed from cancer. Me personally, I'm battling some things that I don't want to get into, but the healthy diet is always great to release stress and tension. And you'd be surprised at how much your mental health improves when you change your diet. We really are what we eat.
So listen, I'm gonna go get me a smoothie, some peaches and some plums.
That's great.
Yeah, man.
That's great.
Hey,
Fruit smoothies with a shot of sea moss is always good.
hey man, no matter what,
No matter what.
no matter what podcast, man. We
Support
love
my
y'all,
man because
man.
he supports y'all.
Yes, sir. Love y'all. Have
Yeah,
a wonderful day,
peace.
man. I hope y'all enjoyed the show, man. I'm gonna have E Bizzle, MC Easy B with the capability. We're gonna have him back, man, the Chief Rocker.
Next time we're going to talk about the art of freestyling.
Peace.
Appreciate you, brother. I definitely need a